Nobody gets you ready for Utah football more than the KSL Sports Zone.
Ready?
Kyle Whittingham and the Utes return home for a battle against Kansas State. Your home for the best coverage of Utah football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans Olsen, Scott Gerard, it is your Cougar Preview Show right here on the Zone. Hans and I have been breaking this game down from every angle, but let's get the real insight.
The real brains.
Yes. The man that can consume 20,000 calories a day and still look like he's chiseled out of granite. It's former BYU legend Mitch Juergens joining us. Mitch, how are you?
Hey, Mitch.
Hey, I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing good.
So Hans keeps talking about this pizza you guys had. Where was it? In Lubbock?
Yeah, it was in Lubbock.
So good.
Yeah.
It was a real deal, huh?
Yeah, it was. What was it like? It was like a little college party house type of deal. It's called Cosmic Pizza. The pizza was like in the very back, and you had to go through a crowd of people. Nobody was actually there trying to eat pizza, but we tentatively ordered 2 pieces each, and then Mitch and I bit into the 2 pieces. We're like, hold on,
there are gonna be more than 2.
We're gonna belly up to the bar for a bit.
Yeah.
So
I'm still dreaming of those crispy pepperonis. They were like so
Hans,
crispy and good.
You mentioned that.
yeah, there was the pepperoni
so
that kind of bakes up. It almost cups, and
Yep.
the edge is crisp, but the pepperoni's thick enough, and the crust was really thin, nice crispy crust. It was good, man. I mean, I don't know, Mitch. We've had some good meals on the road, but I don't know why that one stands out as the most memorable.
Maybe because the whole time we were there too. I don't know if we could really have a conversation. It was so loud.
It was really loud.
Just music blaring. I mean, it was the ultimate college town. But that pizza was a memory.
Man, you talk about that trip though, Scotty. Like that road that the pizza place was on. I mean, Mitch, there was probably 10,000 people along that road, stuffed into all the different places. The roads were packed, and it was like 11 o'clock, midnight.
Yeah,
that place is hopping. That Texas Tech is they're feeling it out there, aren't they?
Yeah, not much else out there in Lubbock.
Hey, I was telling Scotty about the dogs that were chasing our car. Can you confirm that we had dogs chasing our car right by the stadium?
Dogs, armadillos, who knows?
It was
wild.
It's like Hawaii when you got the chickens running around everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Wild chickens.
Hey, so I think everybody is looking at, speaking of Texas Tech, you look at we need a rematch, and everybody wants to see that. But you got to take care of business first on the road against Cincinnati. Where's your concern level for this game?
Every game in the Big 12, I think it's hard to go in completely confident in any matchup in the Big 12, and I think that's what we're learning with, 1 week Arizona State looks great, the next week they don't, and it happens with Cincinnati. I mean, we saw a really good stretch with Cincinnati where, honestly, I was getting a little bit more nervous about Cincinnati than Texas Tech at one point, and then that flips completely, and so. To say I'm feeling confident, I don't know if I can say that, but to be optimistic, I think BYU showed us last week that they can be the complete football team that we've all thought they could be. Every phase of the game, from special teams to defense to offense, they looked the part. You could tell they came in with a mission, with a job to do. They knew what they had to do to get it done, and they executed. And it was really clean. Now, with that said, I mean they had all the pieces. They were healthy. You fast forward to this week on Saturday, and they seem very healthy. It seems like the right things are happening at the right time for BYU to finish the season strong. And so, based on the performance looking last week against TCU. I'm confident that they can get it done in multiple ways with how effective each of the different phases of the game looked for BYU.
Mitch, grade the BYU wide receivers for me as a position group, and then give me some thoughts here, because the last couple of games you had the big drop by JoJo Phillips against Texas Tech. You had the drop with Parker Kingston. in that opening drive that would have been a touchdown. Another drop by JoJo in that game against TCU. But then you get these incredible moments from these receivers. Give me a grade and kind of point out some areas where they really excel and maybe an area where they could do better.
Yeah, I'm going to give them a good B+. B+ is, it's a good grade. Like, they're going to come in, they're going to do their job, they're going to make some plays, they're going to do some astonishing things, which, again, to your point, we've seen. The rise of Parker Kingston has been really impressive, not something that coming into the year that I honestly thought would happen to this extent. I believed in him. He's a playmaker, and we all saw that, but to be a true all-around, multiple tool wide receiver, it's just been really impressive to see. With that said, I'd love to see more consistency. So I think that's the thing that gets them from being an A- to an A is just a lack of consistency, because they have those drops every single one of the receivers has been in that situation. We talked about JoJo Phillips, Parker Kingston, even Chase Roberts has dropped some balls. And so I think just to be a little bit more consistent, I think that's what gets them into that A-grade territory. With that said, though, and maybe one of the reasons why I wouldn't put them down in the B or B- range is, in addition to just catching the ball, there's so much more that you can do to contribute offensively, and one of them is downfield pass blocking. And there was a play last week against TCU, the big play that Carson Ryan scored on. The only reason why he had a clean path to the end zone was the blocking downfield by the receivers, and that's what you've got to see from a receiving core. Is it's fun to make the big catch, it's fun to make the big play to score the touchdown, but what's even more fun the next day in film review is to say, like, hey, I know I can catch the ball, but look at me dominate this DB and clear that clean path for Carson Ryan into the end zone, and that's what they did. And so I've been impressed with that. I think Fessie's done a good job in making sure that if you're not contributing through the air, you're contributing on the ground in the run block game. And so that's one of the areas where I have been impressed, because that's just grit, that's well coaching. That's players that want it more than the other team does, and that's what I've really liked, especially from that receiver group.
When you're sitting in a meeting and you're going over game film that you've had, Mitch, as a receiver, how does your receiver coach, or how does a coach classify a drop? Because I struggle at times. There's certain passes that hit hands, and I'm like, oh, that would have been an amazing catch, but I don't know if I classify that as a drop.
Yeah, the primary rule is if it hits your hands, you catch the ball. Now, there are times when you're completely leaving your body and you put fingertips on the ball and you don't have time or the ability to potentially bring that ball to your chest to secure it. That would never be considered a drop. I think that's just one of those spectacular plays that, if made, you're showing up on SportsCenter top 10. But the primary rule of thumb is going to be if it hits your hands, you got to secure it. But especially if you have an opportunity, because to bring it in, like you look at the Parker Kingston drop on that first drive, and yeah, he left his feet, and it would have been a difficult catch, but he had enough where having that ball come in and hit his hands, he could have gotten that to his chest before he hit the ground. And if that's the case, then I'm pretty sure that's going to be ruled as a drop. But with all the drops, I do love the way that they all respond. I think that's a test of true character as well. Is if it's drop after drop after drop, then that's something mentally is going on there where it's hard for that player to rebound. But the receivers have done a good job where if they do drop a ball, it's like, okay, I can't let it happen again, and then they make the big play on third or fourth down.
Just out of curiosity, from your experience as a receiver, where does a drop usually come from? Is it about trying to make a move after the catch and you're just ahead of schedule a little bit? What do you credit a lot of drops to? Yeah,
lack of focus at times, and most of that is, hey, I've got my eyes downfield. I'm trying to make the next guy miss. I'm worried about where the defender is on either side of me, and so I'm thinking about too many things and not enough on just making sure that I secure the catch. I think that's primarily where it comes from. And And then at times too, I mean, when you have good DBs that you're going up against and they make you do some different things as a receiver, knowing that I've got to be a little bit better than the other guy. I mean, that's where a really good DB can cause some problems, because not only can they potentially bat it down, but even if they're not, you've always got that concern of where is he? Is he going to make a play? And that can get in somebody's head too.
Mitch, one injury that kind of evaded me that you didn't really notice, but then you see that he's not on the field against TCU is Cody Hagan. How much does Cody Hagan missing in the receiver room hurt? And have you heard anything on Cody Hagan? Did you even see it when he left the Texas Tech game?
I didn't. And so I think that one came as a shock to all of us. I mean, the hope is they can get him back. And he is a missing piece. I mean, he's one of those gadget guys. We've seen him score on some two very long runs just with his speed on that little tornado reverse or tornado, whatever you want to call it, that Cody scored on twice. And it's hard to replace speed, and Cody has undeniable speed on the field. As a receiver, though, I think, it did help that by losing Cody, at least you have JoJo back. JoJo does add a different skill set that maybe Cody hasn't stepped into as much, just being younger in his career, where JoJo seems to be a receiving threat all over the field. He can run the drags, he can run the deep posts, he can run the deep balls. And, I haven't seen, it's something that I want to believe that Cody has. And I think he does. He has a skill set. I don't think he'd be at BYU if he didn't. But they haven't kind of opened that up for him yet as they have for JoJo. And so at least with missing Cody, you've got JoJo that can step in and be kind of a true receiving threat all over the field. And it just may mean you rely a little bit more on Parker Kingston to run those, jet sweeps and end arounds. And because, he's got undeniable speed as well. It just puts a little bit more workload on him.
Looking at last year in terms of tight ends, Keanu Hill had 12 catches for 108 yards to lead all tight ends. You had Isaac Rex, who had 34 for 422 and 3 touchdowns the year before in 2023. Carson Ryan's already at 28 with 371 and 3 touchdowns, and he still has 2, 3, maybe 4 games left before the season's over. We knew he could block. We knew he was good in that side, but how has he impressed you as a receiver?
Really impressive. Before the receivers started kind of making these eye-popping catches, it was all Carson Ryan. Carson Ryan making the one-handed grabs. Carson Ryan going up and over defenders. I think that was against Stanford, maybe. And it was all Carson Ryan. I mean, he's a true dual threat tight end that is lethal in the run block game, but when you need him on third down, they've dialed up a number of third down plays specifically for Carson Ryan, and it seems like a sure catch when Bear throws it his way. And I've been very impressed with his ability to be, to play a pass catching tight end role for BYU, but also not let that sacrifice his ability to impact the game in the run game.
Mitch, I try not to get myself in trouble with this, but because we're not players, I feel like we can talk about it. I want to see a BYU Texas Tech rematch, and I feel like BYU can put a much better show up against Texas Tech. When you watch that game, and we saw LJ go out and Jack Kelly go out and Siali Acera go out, and we saw all the drop balls, we saw the -3, the muffed punt, everything that happened in that game. Don't you feel like BYU can truly put up a better performance on a neutral field, or a somewhat of a neutral field, I guess Arlington would be? But don't you feel like they could put up a much better showing?
Oh, yeah. I have no doubt that they can, because what we saw was not what we've been seeing. And what gives me confidence in BYU's ability to, play them a lot differently and a lot better is, as I go back and look, and even throughout the game, it felt like a very conservative approach. Conservative play calling, not wanting to put Bear in situations where he'd make a mistake. But then because of that, it almost the pressure of the game just felt like we weren't letting them play loose and free. And there's a lot of really good talent on that offense for BYU. Speed to natural ability to LJ Martin being, I'd say the top back in the Big 12, like letting them truly play kind of carefree. And then, all eyes go to Bear Bachmeier and the impressive, run that he's been on in his freshman season. And I want to see a little bit more autonomy if BYU plays them again, just to let Bear do what Bear does. And if you kind of take that pressure off that offense to say, hey, it doesn't matter. If you make a mistake, it's okay, because we're going to rebound. Our defense is in a good spot. But letting them kind of be a little bit more aggressive rather than conservative, I think that game looks completely different. Now, I'm not going to come out and say that it's a guaranteed win.
Nope.
But I think it's a battle, because that Texas Tech team is good, but so is BYU. And the way that they've competed, you look at the stat sheet across for the entire regular season, and they show up. BYU shows up really, really well in all areas, and it just wasn't the showing that in my opinion accurately represents the way BYU, this team, operates today.
That's how I feel.
So obviously, I have no experience as a receiver specifically at that level, but I keep hearing people say that quarterback throws a catchable ball. How much of a catchable ball does Bear Bachmeier throw?
I mean, I think pretty catchable. It's just so pretty. The thing about Bear is you don't see a lot of ducks out there.
Yeah.
He throws a nice tight spiral, and that makes a difference. It makes an impact, and so, yeah, I'd love to go run routes for Bear and kind of get the experience of what everybody else is experiencing on that team.
Have you ever seen a quarterback not use the laces as much as Bear does?
I feel like I've seen it before. It blows my mind, because every time I pick up a football, I don't think I could even attempt to throw it without gripping the laces.
Not hitting a spiral, no.
No.
That's crazy. Hey, Mitch, we appreciate it. Hans is on the hook for how many? 6 dogs?
Oh, yeah, 6. So did you know what I put up, Mitch?
I've heard about it.
Yeah, so you and I are going to have to make a run to Skyline. Mitch got to be my support. Mitch could do 6, and it's not even a threat for Mitch.
Yeah.
I need you to set the pace for me, Mitch.
Yeah, I'll be your pacer. I'll be your rabbit.
I like it.
We got to get Greg. Somehow we got to talk Greg into going. I don't know. Will Greg lower his standards for Skyline?
Greg doesn't seem like a chili dog kind of guy.
No. I don't know, but I'll beg him.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to beg Greg.
When we begged him to hang out with us and eat some pizza in Las Vegas, we got him there, but I don't know how overly
he loved it. He loved it. He told me he actually ended up enjoying the pizza.
Okay, well, that's good. All right, Mitch, you're the best, man. Thanks. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Mitch.
Hey, appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
There he is, Mitch Juergens, right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Yeah, he could roll out of bed and knock down 6 dogs.
Yeah, he could. In fact, I bet he'll do it. Now, that's going to hurt me. Because when I go, I eat. I haven't been to Cincinnati in 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
And when I would go, I'd get 3, and I'd get them 3-way. You can go 4-way. I think they might have a 5-way, but the 3-way is onion, mustard, and cheese. And the cheese piles up high on top of this chili dog. And I would do 3, and it was filling back in the day. So 6 is going to hurt. But I'm gonna do everything I can.
Yeah. I love it.
Got to keep up my end of the deal.
Let's go. Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's another battle for the Aggies, and the KSL Sports Zone has it covered. The Aggies head to California for a chance to get bowl eligible against Fresno State. Your home for all the play-by-play coverage of Aggie football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans Olsen, Scott Gerard, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Thanksgiving coming up 1 week from tomorrow. And you're like, oh, man, I got to find a turkey. Then I got to thaw the thing out, and I got to do all this other nonsense. I got my mother-in-law, my father-in-law. They're going to be barking at me because the turkey's too dry or whatever the case is. Okay, well, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. All you have to do is call my guy, Kenny J, at Kenny J's Barbecue, 801-230-5396. That's 5396.
Hey, hold on. Give me that number again because I'm putting it in. I got to call him. I'm going to have Kenny do my turkey this year.
Nice.
What is it?
801
Okay.
230 5396.
5396.
Can you just screen grab him the picture of the number?
No, stop, Lloyd.
Oh, thanks for showing up, Lloyd.
I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Lloyd.
You know what Lloyd was doing? He was having
all
a
day.
fancy lunch with the bigwigs. He dropped us so he could eat
being
lunch.
serious?
No, yeah. And by the way, this wasn't a ramen noodle lunch.
This wasn't like a little taco
No,
bar?
the guy we were talking about during the break.
Yeah.
Oh, it's him and Lloyd
he-
essentially just
pretty
rubbing
much.
elbows for 2
What?
hours.
Yeah. Face to face, just the two of us.
You can make it if you try.
Did you have some Cornish game hen?
I passed on the game, man. Sorry.
All
right. Well, Kenny J's Barbecue, he'll make the turkey for you. And this is a massive turkey breast, slow smoked to perfection. We've had this turkey. It is absolutely incredible. All you have to do is call or text Kenny directly, 801-230-5396, 5396, and say, Kenny, I need my turkey. Help me out. I don't want to screw that up. And he'd be like, I got you.
Well, I'm having Kenny do it because plans have changed a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. So our little Thanksgiving, we usually have that big Thanksgiving, 60, 70 people. It's down to about 15. So
Oh, really?
I'm going to have Kenny just do some smoked turkey for me.
Nice. Well, that's a bummer.
Yeah, it's a bummer, but
Is that where the talent show usually happens?
Yeah.
Or is that,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Was it because you got physical last one?
I don't know exactly what happened, but people have opted to go to Ryan's house and not mine this year. So, including mom and dad. Yeah, but, you know, that's why I'm going to have Kenny J kick it up a notch, and
We'll have our own party.
I'll salt my turkey with my tears.
Wow. Ryan pulled the rug out, huh?
Yeah, he wanted to do his own Thanksgiving.
Because he's got that fancy new house up in Logan.
Yeah. Yeah, up by Michael Ballum's house.
Yeah. Look at me, my new house.
Me and Michael Ballum will be Thanksgiving today.
I wonder if they have like a sing-off, he and Michael.
Just so you know, if they did, Ryan would sink him.
Oh, I do. I agree.
Yeah.
Did Ryan whittle his home out of wood?
About the same amount of times as Scotty built a frame out of it with his lathe.
My lathe. Yeah. All right.
It's a hopa.
BYU and Cincinnati. Oh, Lloyd, I'm glad you're
So
back.
much lacquer.
By the way, Lloyd, did you what did you have? This wasn't a $5 pizza at lunch, I'm sure.
No, it wasn't. I went with a nice soup and some and a salad and a great. There was a dessert. Essentially it was like a cheesecake dessert of sorts.
Soup and salad.
Yeah,
That's playing it safe. Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, BYU Cincinnati, as we get you ready for what will be a very entertaining game. Kalani is not style points guy. Number one priority, win the game. Number two, I'm sorry, Kalani. I know this isn't who you are as a person. You got to win it if you can by 4 or 5 touchdowns.
You know what I think? I think Kalani has submitted to the fact that the only way he gets there is winning the Big 12 championship.
Yeah.
I think
he's probably right.
I honestly think that in his mind, he's drawn it up and he said, I see the writing on the wall. I know what you guys are doing. I know how I can make my money. My money is made by winning.
Yeah.
It's not by getting a wild card. Like I've got to win. And when I heard him talking at his presser on Monday, and he went on that little bit of a rant about not looking, not caring, it said a lot to me. I think that he's looking at it saying, number one, I don't want to rely on a committee where we're sitting there late at night because we've lost one late in the season and we're hoping that they throw us a bone.
Yeah.
I want to be able to walk off the field in Arlington and be able to cash my own check.
Yeah.
So I understand his mindset. So with that goes to what you were just talking about, his style points. I just don't think he cares.
Yeah. And he tried to call the dogs off last week.
He did. He had second and third stringers in about maybe eight or 10 minutes left in the fourth.
It's just, and you're right. I think you may be getting guys off the field just to protect them because you need to beat Central Florida, and then you need everybody to be as healthy as they possibly can against Texas Tech because all your eggs need to be in that basket.
No, I think that BYU is in a different situation than others in the conference. I think that they're looking at it thinking the lack of showing up against Texas Tech just did a lot of damage to them.
That's what the committee's pointing to directly, being like, oh, well.
They said it out loud.
Only one loss, but they sure got manhandled in Lubbock.
They said it out loud.
Oh, yeah.
They released a statement on it.
Yeah. Offense, defensive lines were just dominated by Texas Tech.
And I still feel like they just didn't have their team on the field.
Yeah. Okay, so as a former defensive lineman and former offensive lineman, if you got another shot at a team and you kept hearing a committee say the reason we are not letting you be a part of the party is because of you and your group specifically, because you were dominated at the line of scrimmage. Now that is something I'm sure can be pointed to. They're like, hey, they said you weren't physical.
I'd be irate.
They said that you weren't tough enough.
Yeah.
That's going right after your manhood.
By the way, I think that Texas Tech would do that to Notre Dame.
Yes, agreed.
I think Texas Tech would do that to Alabama.
Yep.
I think the trenches that will match Texas Tech are Indiana and Ohio State.
Yeah. And maybe Texas A&M. But they do it to Georgia. They do it to Ole Miss. They do it to Oregon. They definitely do it to Oklahoma.
I think they'd own them.
Yeah. I like Texas A&M's defensive line.
I'm just shocked that a loss to a top 5 team is what everybody is looking at.
I know. Yeah.
And then they're like, well, yeah, but you had a 10-point comeback on the road, or you had a 14-point comeback on the road. What are you talking about? This team has learned and grown along the way with every one of those comebacks.
Yeah.
And then they finally put it all together against TCU. And I got a feeling they're going to put it together against Cincinnati.
So nobody's saying anything that that Alabama lost to a 5-5 Florida State team. So that apparently doesn't matter.
So that loss is a better-looking loss than the Texas Tech loss for BYU?
And remember, and that's one of 2 losses Alabama has because they lost to Oklahoma last week.
Yeah.
Let's look at Notre Dame, see what their losses are. I should know this off the top of my head. Notre Dame's 2 losses came against – wait for it. See, this is really bad radio. And our internet's toast. But Notre Dame, okay, here we go. Notre Dame's 2 losses. They lost to Miami of Florida, okay, and then they lost to Texas A&M. So those are 2 good losses, but they haven't played anybody since. Pittsburgh, Navy, Boston College, USC. USC's a good win, but then NC State, Boise State, Arkansas, Purdue. So against good teams, Notre Dame is 1-2.
Oklahoma lost to a Texas team that's tumbling.
Yeah.
And they lost to Ole Miss. They barely beat Tennessee and barely beat Alabama.
So, I mean, I can go, sure, you can point out BYU and say, yeah, they lost badly to Texas Tech. They were outmanned at line of scrimmage. Okay, that's fine. You can say that. But then let's apply that to all the other teams and everybody's their game. Like, we can poke holes in everybody's resume.
I mean, BYU's got the 6th strength of schedule, man.
Yeah.
They've got the 6th strength of schedule.
Yeah.
They're playing true road games.
They're winning on the road?
They're winning on the road. Well, I get, and see, there I go. Every time
I know.
Every time I try to tell myself, hey, get away from it, my brain takes me back to it.
Because you're right. Go back to your opening statement. None of it matters.
None of it matters, but it does bug me that if BYU were to get to the Big 12 championship game and their only 2 losses were against a top 3, top 4 team by the time things are said and done with Texas Tech.
Yeah.
And you're going to hold them out and not even give them a shot to see what they could do against Notre Dame or Oklahoma?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Or see what they could do against, I guess they wouldn't be ranked that high to be able to see a Tulane. But I would love to see BYU versus Jake Retzlaff.
Oh, that'd be fun. All right, Hans and Scotty, we'll wrap up this bad boy next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.